week here in Alexander City. Want to welcome in now Coach Matt Johnson and his Reeltown Rebels. Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, brother. Appreciate y'all having us.
Appreciate your being here, and we're going to let you introduce the players you brought with you here in just 1 second, but I do want to talk to you for a minute. Coach, you are replacing a legend. Obviously, you know all about that. You played at Reeltown. You know a little bit about the expectations from that community. How difficult of a transition has it been?
Well, you know, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I was fortunate enough. It's a unique situation where I'm taking over, you know, behind Coach O'Neal, but a lot of people don't realize, you know, the whole staff basically stayed intact. So these are guys that spent, you know, some of them 20 years with Coach O'Neal in this program, and that's a huge deal. You know, having guys with familiar faces that know these kids and has been a part of the program and the process that Coach O'Neal has done for so long, you know, it just plays a huge toll on the process and a smoother transition for these guys and for myself included. So the transition hasn't been that bad at all. The expectations have been raised, you know, coming in just for the transition. The guys have answered the call, and it's been a great transition so far.
Well, Coach, I work with the AHSA radio network and the AHSA scoreboard show, and so obviously I'm pretty familiar with Coach Jackie O'Neal. He literally is a legend in the state of Alabama. What did he instill in you that you've been able to carry over as the new coach of Reeltown?
Well, I tell you, I was telling Mike earlier, you know, the main thing is keeping the main thing, and that's what Coach O'Neal did, and you know, that was always his legacy. You know, and even before Coach O'Neal, I know we talk a lot about Coach O'Neal, but he replaced a legend as well in Coach Webster, who was there for so long, in Alabama, you know, Hall of Fame as well. And so those guys, one common thing that they always had was, you know, keeping the main thing, and that's the kids. You know, keeping them at hand, and whatever we do, you know, that's what it's going to be based off of. It's going to be based for the kids, you know, no matter what we do. So, you know, taking that from him, you know, picking up, carrying the torch forward that Coach O'Neal started, Coach Webster started back in 1956. You know, it's just continuing that same philosophy in this program, and that's the work that goes along with the work ethic, the toughness, the effort, you know, the hard-nosed mentality. You know, all of that I learned back when I played with Coach O'Neal, or for Coach O'Neal, and then had a chance to coach with him as well.
Coach, you open up with, I believe, Notasulga on a Thursday night. Do you like opening up on a Thursday night, a non-Friday? Does that give you one of those little extra days of rest for the next week, or would you just rather get on your regular rotation?
Well, in this case, it is a little bit of an extra day, but the next week we have Davil on a Thursday night as well, so it kind of works out, you know, to where it'll turn into a normal week. Obviously, you know, we've got a couple of weeks to prepare for Notasulga, and that's our biggest game right now. So having those couple of weeks is not as big of a deal being on a Thursday night. That gives our kids some time to kind of get some loose ends out on that Friday and take care of some things, and then, you know, the week will start back over and we play on a Thursday night the next week. So having that extra day on that Friday, it'll work out, you know, pretty good.
Coach, I'm going to let these young men introduce themselves right now. If y'all would go ahead, one of you go ahead and grab the mic. Whoever wants to go first, don't be shy. Let's go ahead right here. What's your name, young man?
I'm Jake Higman.
Jake, what position do you play for Reeltown?
I'm a wide receiver and a safety.
What year is it for you?
I'm going to be a senior this year.
Yes, okay, sir. That's great. Tell me, what are you most looking forward to this year? You guys, I believe you went out in the first round of the playoffs last year. So is this all about redemption? Do you feel like, is this extra special because you are starting a new era in Reeltown football?
Yes, sir. This is my first year as well playing for Reeltown. I came with the last 3 weeks of school and went through spring training, and we're just looking forward to getting to the state championship, just like every other team. And Coach Johnson's been pushing us this summer, and he's instilled a lot of confidence and determination in us where we go out every day and work, and our goal is just the state championship.
Great. If you would pass the mic down really quickly. Now, if you'd introduce yourself.
My name is Montez Brooks.
What position do you play?
I play middle linebacker and running back.
That is a run-stopper, Coach. I did not expect to hear middle linebacker. That's a guy who's going to be a run-stopper.
I do have a defensive background.
Yeah, you found somebody who's the best big athlete. Put him right in the middle of the defense. I like that a lot. What year are you, buddy?
I'm going to be a senior.
Okay, so what game are you most looking forward to? And pretend Coach isn't here because I know it's always the next game. What game do you look forward to during the summer that you think about that helps motivate you through off-season workouts?
Probably Davil.
That game means a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
For those who aren't familiar, that is a heated rivalry. There's no doubt about it, and I know you've got them in the second week of the season. I'll talk to you about it in just a second, Coach, and if you would, pass the mic one more time. What's your name, young man?
My name's Blake Baker.
Blake, what position do you play?
I play offensive tackle and nose guard.
And you're a senior as well?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys a senior-laden team, or are you just the only 3 seniors up, or tell me the situation. Are y'all young? Are you experienced?
Well, I'll say we have a mix of both. We have about, I'd say, maybe at the max of 10 seniors this year. We're a 2A school. We have maybe at the max 30 to 40 players every year. Mm-hmm. So every year we have a mix of, we look for younger kids to have leadership as well. So I'd say we do have a lot of leadership with experience, but we also have younger kids that are going to come in and step up and be a part of the football team.
Now, all 3 of you guys play both ways?
Yes, sir.
And when you're a 2A school, that's pretty typical, right?
Yes, sir. That's pretty common for a lot, especially in this area too. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, you got some really smart young guys over here, Coach.
Good guys.
Yeah, really good guys. Let's go back to this Dadeville rivalry for just a second. I know that one means a lot to you. I'm not trying to date you, but how far were you when you were playing for Reeltown? Did you two have a rivalry going?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And was that the most meaningful game of the year?
Well, as a player, coaches talks a little bit different, but as a player, when I was in high school, we played Tallahassee back then, so that was even a bigger rivalry. But Dadeville was also it was a big rivalry as well.
Talk about your off-season workouts and how that's been it's been crippling heat this summer. Has that made things more difficult, or are the kids on their own a lot to do their own conditioning? Can you assist them in any way?
Yeah, well, obviously they're not mandatory. It's as mandatory as not being mandatory. But, we go 3 days a week. We go in the evening, 5 o'clock, and it's still hot.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it still takes your breath away. So, we formulated where, we're smart at the same time. We're getting the most out of them that we can. But, a lot of these kids, they work outside all day long, too. So they're coming in really working a second job for a couple of hours for the time that we have them. And so we have to be smart. We have to formulate. Sometimes you got to deviate away from the plan that you have, initially, depending on how, they're responding to what we're doing. But, overall, they've worked hard. We've had great attendance. Kids have really worked hard, really bought into what we're trying to do in the strength conditioning, the speed improvement part. So it's really been a great summer as far as the work ethic and us getting things going.
What's your philosophy scheduling-wise? Obviously, you got Dadeville on the schedule, as we discussed, and there are a couple of classifications ahead of you guys. Do you feel like that prepares you more for playoff football down the road, to play a team that's in a higher classification?
Yeah, well, it's always good to play quality opponents. We're fortunate to be in a region, this top to bottom full of quality opponents. So, and having Dadeville and the Notasulgas and the Lochapokas on your schedule, that's those games are great for the community. It's a good rival. It's great for the players. It's great for everybody involved with the rivalry intact. And they're all 3 quality opponents, so you're getting something out of all of them.
Well, Coach, you got 3 great seniors up here. You're doing a fantastic job. You got a great interview with our own Scott Hardy that's been all over Facebook. It's been shared about 200 times and viewed over 10,000. So that tells you a little bit about what people are looking forward to when it comes to the Matt Johnson era at Reeltown football. Thank you guys so much for being out here.
Hey, we appreciate the opportunity.
3 great guys, 1 great coach. We'll be back in just a minute with more from Strand Park.